Hi everyone, this is Karen. The plan for this video is to make it a quicker video showing you how to put together one of the cards in Anna's Lovely Layered Cards cartridge. I'll show you how to determine size when you're inserting the image. Before we do anything else, I'm going to show you how to find the cartridge. When you insert images, click Cartridges on the far left side of your screen. Then type Anna into the search field on the right side of the screen. And you'll see all of Anna Griffin's cartridges or images listed here. The one I'm looking for is Anna's Lovely Layered Cards down here at the bottom. So I'm going to click View All 84 Images. And the card I've chosen to work with is this one right here. So I'm going to click it and then insert it on my screen. And you'll see that it comes in quite small. So I did some research to see if there were any tips already on how to resize the images to get the size that you want for your card. I found that there were none, so I decided to play around a little bit to figure this out. One thing for sure, you don't want to resize after ungrouping. If you're going to resize it, then you need to do that while they're grouped to make sure that everything stays proportional. So it's very easy to do that. You can just drag it out, or you can go into the edit panel and change the size in there. What I did is I changed the size of this one to, it was 17 inches wide. And this ends up giving me a card that is almost 6 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches tall. I've separated out all the pieces for you here so you can see them on screen. And I'm going to do something a little bit different than what would normally be done with this card. This white section over here, I'm going to cut away the section on the left. And I'm going to be using the new Cricut metallic vellum for this top part. And I'm going to be using the new Cricut cardstock for the rest of the card. I will cut out all the pieces now, and then I'll show you how the card is put together. Okay, so a couple of things to note about cutting out this vellum, which is really beautiful. It's going to be a very beautiful layer on the card. I first started cutting it out on this mat, and you'll see that there's a lot of old material on that. So the mat is quite dirty, and it left a lot of bumps. And the problem is that as it started cutting, you'll see here that it started lifting up off the paper. So I paused it, and I brought in this mat to use, which is nice and clean. And it is also the light grip mat, and that's what they recommend using. So this was an older mat, so I thought that because it's older, it would be similar to a light grip, but it's the material on it that started to cause the problem. So you see how nice and smooth it cut it out now that I used the light grip and a clean new mat. The other thing is that I wrote down some notes I wouldn't forget. When you're cutting this vellum, turn the dial to the custom setting and then choose vellum. And be sure that your material is well adhered and use a light grip cutting mat. So I have some lines to score here. So the scoring tool does produce a faint scoring line, but it is enough to know exactly where that scoring line is. You can make it a bit deeper if you like, but it's not necessary. I'll show you with this piece. You should be able to see those scoring lines, I hope. So I'm going to just bend where they are. See, the paper is bending. They are scored enough for that. And you can see the lines. So there, and all I do is use my bone folder to make sure it's a good tight crease. And that's fine. And I have one more. This one's a bit harder to see because it's white. There we go. It's perfect. Okay, so all of my scoring lines have been scored. My plan here is to put this vellum piece on top of the others, and I don't want it attached to this. So first I'm going to put together these parts of the card. I find it works better if you flatten this again to work on it. So then this is the less detail. And how does this go? This goes on that side and this is here. So when you put it together, it looks like this, and then this piece on top. So I'm going to use my Zig two-way glue pen. I need to move fast on this one because it'll dry. Okay, so this part comes on this way. It's going to be a stunning card. That's going to look so nice. Gorgeous. Okay, so I just need to determine where I should cut. So just line up my notches there. I'll save this for something else. And there we go. That's right. So glue goes here. So I'm just going to go around the edges of these parts because that is where it's sticking, or where it needs to stick. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'll go back and touch up on some of the details. Work on the envelope now. And the way this goes is you fold these in, this flap up, this goes on the back, and closes like this. I put it over here, put the adhesive here on the flaps. And then I will put the adhesive along the very edge here and at the score line. There we go. That's the envelope done. And then I'm going to put the card front through my Xyron machine, my larger one. I have a trick for my Xyron stickers, and that is to really burnish it down well with my hand, and then I take a pencil and I just go around all of the inside pieces. That prevents all the glue from being caught up in the middle of your pieces. Works perfectly. So just going to make sure, take that time to go around all these little outlines. It can be a little bit of a pain, but you end up with a perfect result. Okay, and then I just go around the whole outside as well, right next to the cardstock. And you see, there's no adhesive in the middle in there at all. And I can take this off. All the layers have already been glued together. And you know now that it's going to stick down to the card base perfectly. And I've decided, I think that the correct way that's shown in how the card is made is this way, but I like it better this way. And the easiest way I find is to put it down on your table and then press it down. Okay, so there, that's the card front. So I'm just going to put this together like this so you can see it a little bit better. That's really, really pretty. The thing I like about this is I'm not much of a card maker, and this makes me look like a professional. The hard part of designing it and cutting it is done for you with the machine. So you look like an expert card maker, and I can make cards ahead of time and have them ready to give out to birthdays for friends, or when somebody comes looking through my drawer of ready-made cards, they'll have cards there that they can use to give to people on their birthdays. So thanks so much for watching. See you next time.